What's going on YouTube? Alex Mitchell with his Rockstun. Rockstun, yeah, something different. He's gonna give us a little deck profile. Let's start off with the monster lineup.
Alright, starting off with 3 Guardian, 2 Wall, 1 Sandman, triple Fossil Dino, 1 Grand Mole, 2 Jiu-Jitsu Master, 3 Doom Cows, 2 Spirit Reaper. It's basically self-explanatory. Quagmire Guardian, stop your monster effects, basically like Doom Cows, so they're basically in the same league. Quagmire Wall guards your first turn play of setting 4 or 5 back rows if you wish. Well, of course, 4 back rows because you still need a rock. Sandman is there for that extra push to push you out of Mirror Force or Deep Prison or anything like a Torrential. 3 Fossil Dinas, probably all-star in the deck. Summoning a Fossil Dina and looking at your opponent and they look at their hand, there's really nothing they can do to a Fossil Dina. They literally have to summon a T-King, and that's where the back rows will come in. Grand Mole, take out Exceeds, take out Zen Mage, and basically provide openings for direct attacks and rock revealing, of course. Jiu-Jitsu Master for set plays and set your opponent back a turn, basically either +1 or 1 for 1. And then Spirit Reaper at 2. I decided to Spirit Reaper in my main board only because if I set it sideways against, I'll say about 60% of my matchups, I can literally sit back 3 or 4 turns and it won't go anywhere. Plus, I usually go aggressive with my Spirit Reapers and start discarding your hand as much as I possibly can.
Right.
And there's monsters.
Any changes to the monster lineup?
For the next event that I go to, I'm not sure. I'm going to continue to look at it and see what else I can change, but for right now, there's not going to be much of a change.
Alright. On to spells?
Line of spells, pretty simple, straightforward. Smashing Ground, triple Pot of Duality, Book of Moon, Monster Reborn, Dark Hole. Simple. This is to get rid of other people's Spirit Reapers and just to clear your field, or clear their field. Triple Pot of Dualities to search into my answers because I have no other draw engine. Book of Moon for defense, Monster Reborn for a sack play, possible, and Dark Hole to, once again, clear your field. Basically self-explanatory. And then we'll go into our traps. Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warnings, 2 Huge Revolution is over, 2 Bottomless, 2 Goes in Match, Vanity's Emptiness, Black Horn of Heaven, Mirror Force, 2 Deep Prisons, and Torrential. Now, I went to the event knowing that Roll Decree wasn't going to be in first game, so I provided myself with a heavy trap lineup. Of course, the Solemn Brigade here to basically self-explanatory, stop them from doing whatever I don't need them to do. The Huge Revolution is over. I chose this over Starlight Road for 2 reasons. 1, the only card in this meta that can honestly compare to this card is Solemn Judgment. Because a lot of people don't like 7 tools. Some people do, some people don't. But this card basically handles your Heavy Storms, Torrential Tributes, Dark Holes, Mirror Forces, and it even handles silly cards like Scrap Dragon or Icarus Attack. Anything that destroys 2 or more cards, this card's got it. And of course, Bottomless for field clearance. I chose Goes in Match for my main board. I was originally mainboarding Safe Zone, but I was asking my friend the night before whether I should play Call the Haunted or Safe Zone. He said neither because the only thing I have is Fossil Dina to save on my Safe Zone. I don't want to save anything else. And I could use it defensively or offensively, but it wouldn't have done much good as this card did. This card basically provided me with so many answers to other decks that I couldn't handle, like windups or windups, and 6 Sams, ninjas, anything that had multiple attributes for them to get to their goal. This put them down really quickly, and it just stalled them. Sometimes we were going back and forth, but I ended up coming on top most of the time. We got torrential tribute for field clearance. I went deep prisons here. Mirror Force and these two cards, Vanity's Emptiness. Love this against Rabbit because it basically provides you the early one, the early plus one, which in later games it'll turn into a 1-for-1. But to stop your Rabbit or stop your Monster Reborn from even happening is a really good idea. It's a really good plus. And Black Horn of Heaven. It's self-explanatory. Stop those inherent summons. Get them out the way. Just in case you don't have Solemn Warning. It just provides extra coverage.
Anything that we would take out of the Magic and Trap side or main deck, or to actually change up and then put in, like Heavy Storm or?
Right now, I was going off the theory of stun decks that are basically they're not playing their MST's main board or like Heavy Storm or main board, and they side into it because in a stun deck you don't really have to go after the opponent's back rows. Your monsters do it for you, and if they're not going to activate a back row on a lone Fossil Diner, like they have Solemn Warning in their back row, okay, attack you with Fossil Diner. Now, basically every monster that I drop is 1-for-1 every single turn until I get you your life points. And you're going to keep running into my back rows while this Fossil Diner or Spirit Reaper or a Grand Roll is going to sit on the field, and it's going to make you lose life points over time.
How many times did you side out Gozen match?
I sided out Gozen match against the Gravekeeper matchup that I played, and I sided it out on. I didn't play Inzectors, which is odd. That was the only matchup that I really sided it out on. Everything else, it was live. Like, especially mainboarded Gozen match against Dino Rabbit really hurts.
Right. Alright, on to the extra deck inside.
Oh, yes. There we go. Sideboard. Double Cyber Dragon.
Of course.
Double T-King. Double Breaker. Double Effect Veil. Double Shadow Imprisoning. The extra Black Horn of Heaven. 2 Chain Disappearances. And 2 MSTs. Self-explanatory.
Seems pretty stable.
Yeah, it is. Like, Cyber Dragon is self-explanatory. It gets me beaters when I don't have beaters, because I really don't. I just don't have any. I never do. 2 Thunder Kings. My friends were commenting on how I don't main more Thunder King. Here's the reason why. Thunder King is good against a lot of matchups. For me. But for my own deck, for my personal deck, and this is just me, if you get rid of my Thunder King, or force me to get rid of my Thunder King, then I'm down a really cool monster for the late game. So I go into this game 2, basically to give me the first turn Thunder King set with 2 back rows. I don't want to do it first game because you'll expect it, but any deck will expect it. So I just went on ahead and sideboarded him for like whenever people take out their main combos and they go into a stun aspect. 2 breakers, self-explanatory, get rid of Roll the Creep. That's all he's really there for. If he hits a Solemn Warning, he did his job. If he hits a Bottomless, he did his job. If he hits a Fiendish Chain, he still did his job. Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is only good against the wind-up matchup for me. I couldn't really use it against Inzectors, and I'll explain why in a minute. But for Effect Veiler, it was really good against wind-ups. It saved me from just losing my hand sometimes. Now, I still got hand loop. Don't get me wrong. Like, it still happened. But it came in handy whenever she needed to be there, which was good. Like, I don't like hand traps that much. This is why I only run 2. 2 shadow imprisoning mirrors. This was to stop, obviously, Inzectors, but it also stopped those rogue decks like Ninjas and anything that was heavily dark-based like Dark World, because that deck was running around everywhere too. I didn't see any yet again, but it really helps. It's self-explanatory. The extra Black Horn of Heaven was in my sideboard for Dino Rabbit, wind-ups, or any kind of chaos build that I would have seen. Basically to stop any of those inherent special summons that I couldn't handle. I'll even do it to a Cyber Dragon if I know I have it. Chain Disappearance. I don't really like this card this much. It didn't help me as much as I thought, so this might be changed for something else. But theoretically, it was there for the wind-up matchup, the Inzector matchup, and the possible plant matchup. Plant matchup isn't going to be around anymore, so these will definitely come out, because I didn't really see them versus Inzectors whenever I played in 3v3, and I surely didn't see them whenever I was playing against wind-ups like I wanted to. And then 2 MSTs. As explained, I was talking to you before we started. I don't like MST mainboarding and stun, and it was just off the theory of the stun decks that I have top recently. Basically, if I'm playing a stun deck, why am I going to MST your back row? I'm not doing anything to you if I MST your back row. The only thing I'm doing is clearing your back row. I'm not destroying your purpose. Unless your purpose has to be continuous, there's no reason for me to mainboard MST. So I decided.
Alright, on to extra.
The extra deck is pretty straightforward.
Right.
It is nothing but 2 Chimera Techs, a Utopia, and a random Stardust. And the only reason why I chose random Stardust is because I can overextend to make it. Plus, if there were an opportunity to make Stardust against something like Inzectors or something, they just lost.
Right.
It's just, oh, Stardust. What are you going to do? I'm going to blow something to game. Okay, you can blow up everything else, but Stardust comes back. Like, what else are you going to do?
Right. Alright, well, this is Alex Mitchell's Rock Stun deck. Any final comments on the deck?
I'm going to try to work with it a little bit more. I'm not going to necessarily say that I will run it at the next event, but for me to actually run something different and not meta, it's refreshing. And plus, I did really well with it. I got a lot of props, and I'm excited about it. So, might see this again.
Alright, guys. Keep locked down out. Peace.